My name is Richland. My mother is Elizabeth Richmond. She's 92 years old and she has Alzheimer's. She was a professor at Ashland University and she had been called back in to teach some classes part-time.
She said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this. And I said, why? And she said, I can't remember my students' names.
And this is something that she never had any problems with in the 30 years that she taught.
Alzheimer's and dementia is a fatal disease. It's progressive. When a person's diagnosed with dementia, 60 to 80% of people have Alzheimer's disease. But Alzheimer's has some different characteristics as from some of the other dementias. Alzheimer's starts in the area of the brain that affects memory, language, any kind of processing things are harder and harder for people to do.
Mother used to say, why my brain? Of all the things that could go wrong, why does it have to be my brain? The woman taught herself Greek, so she could read Aristotle in the original language when she did her PhD work at Kent State University. This is who we're talking about here.
She started to forget the names of family, which was really unusual to us to have her forget your own children's names. She does not know who I am. She sees me every day, but as far as knowing my name, that's gone. My mother was very much against moving into an assisted living center, so we offered her to come live with us.
Even though she doesn't know us, this is home. And she knows we belong here. and she knows she belongs here.
Being a caregiver for a person with dementia is really hard. It is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job that, depending on how your person is progressing in the disease, it can be exhausting.
My mother lives on the second floor and she has to come down the steps every day. We did put runners on the steps, make sure that she was less of a tripping hazard. Used to be able to take her pills without a problem at all, but now I got to remind her to take her pills and I have to remind her to swallow her pills, otherwise she'll put the pills in her mouth and she'll start chewing them. Little things like that, little things that you have to constantly tell her. You do have to be on the watch.
Every night you're there. Every morning you're there. If they're there, you're there. And if you think that doesn't take a toll, think again. Does she know she's asked you the same thing 15 times in a row? No, she doesn't. So if you lose your temper and say, I said that already, that does no one any good, including yourself. To her, it'd be like I was yelling at her for the first time.
You can't put the blame on them. They don't have any control of what's going on to them, so you have to adjust to those changes as they develop. Have some care, think about things that you can do that still make a difference in their life.
You really want to try to help them do things that they enjoy doing before having dementia.
Like my mother, she goes in and washes the dishes every day. When we're through with the meal, she's going to go right to the sink, so I get the sink ready for her. The last thing I'd want to do is to break that habit, because then it just becomes confusing.
Gardening, running the vacuum, assisting with cooking, folding laundry, some of those things that it just necessarily isn't busy work, but it's a way for the person to feel more valuable and have dignity in their daily life.
Mother's still in there. She can't fix her own cereal anymore. Her memory lasts about 7 seconds. She can't do for herself, but she still has a wry sense of humor, and as long as she's not a danger to herself or others, then she's okay. And so far, that's kind of been the case.
I think the biggest positive that I can tell you is the things that she still does remember. She's still very pleasant. She still smiles. When we say thank you, and she says thank you to us. She still loves to have a hug, and so those things are important.